Hi there. So I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you for watching. Today I would like to show you some easy techniques using some Vintaj Dragonfly components. So this piece here, as you could see, comes with a loop at the top. And sometimes when you're designing, you just might prefer to have a hole instead of a loop, depending on what you're doing. So I ran into that situation when I was coming up with this design where I wanted to curl the tail end of the dragonfly and suspend some beads and different components from the bottom. I didn't want there just to be this straight line where there's another jump ring up top again to take away from the focus going on the bottom. So I decided to remove that loop and add holes on the wings, so I created more of a Y design. If I would have kept that loop up here, I would have had to add another jump ring and then either string chain or add 2 jump rings depending on the direction of the chain. So I thought let's get rid of that loop and do something different. So that's the fun part about Vintaj, because our metals are all natural. They're very malleable, so you're able to alter them. You can cut and sand and bend things where you could, for instance, like even bending the wings of the dragonfly to wrap around an art bead or a stone or some type of other vintage components. So I'm going to just show you how easy this is. With this dragonfly here, you can see it has a little bit of patina on it. This actually is part of one of our Vintage Vogue collections. It's also available in bulk in the solid brass without patina. But this here is the set. It's the dragonfly, this teensy dragonfly, and this really pretty leaf. So I used all 3 of those from the Vogue collection and just altered 2 of those components. So I'm going to go ahead and take the dragonfly and a flush cutter and just simply go right up against that loop on the top of the dragonfly there and just cut it away. It's really easy. So with our Vintage reliefing block, this works as a file where you can sand and smooth edges. So I'm using that dark gray side. I'm just going to smooth any rough edge from cutting away. Okay, so now I just have this component. What I'm going to do next is use our 1.5mm hole punch pliers, and I'm going to add a hole to each corner of the top wing. So you want to make sure you don't get too close to the edge so it cuts through the metal. So that looks about right. I go in here and just simply squeeze down and then hold on to that to release it. And I have my hole there. Turn it to the other side. Okay, because I use these a lot, sometimes you might feel that it might be a little bit rough on the back. If you've used your hole punch pliers a lot, I probably need to soon switch out the tip. They come with an extra tip, and I have never done that, and I've had those for years, so that's a good sign. They work really well and last a long time. So I'm just flattening that out with my flat nose chain nose plier, or again, you can go in with the releasing block if you prefer. Okay, so now I'm all set with my holes to create my Y-shaped necklace design like this. So my next step is I'm going to curl the end of the tail. Now you could see that the tail kind of is tapered where it's wider at the top and gets narrower towards the bottom. Because this is natural metal, it's a solid brass, it's soft, you want to be careful that you're not bending this back and forth too many times, or that little tip of the tail could break off. So I want to work closer to the tip, but I know that I'm going to be using a little bit of a thicker jump ring. This is like a 9, somewhere around a 9 or 9.5mm. It's like a etched style jump ring of ours, so it's on a little bit of the thicker side, so I know I want my loop big enough for that to fit. So I'm going to start a little bit away from the tip, and I'm just going to bend this a little bit at an angle and then round back. So I'm making my loop going towards the back of the dragonfly, and you want to bring it all the way so it See there, so it touches the back side there. You might notice that the tail might shift and move out of place, come forward or something. So what you could do is grab your chain nose plier and hold on to the wings and then simply straighten that out. And then you might need to do so also with the loop. You could insert that and kind of bring it forward a little bit and then reclose it. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and open my jump ring. First, I want some of that detail to show, so I'm actually going to sand this a little bit. I like the way these look when I buff them up and bring out some of those really pretty brass highlights in that pattern. I'm a little bit obsessed with this tool. I use it on everything. Okay, so you have your chain nose pliers and your jump ring, and to open and close jump rings correctly, you could use 2 pairs of chain nose pliers is the easiest. So I grip on either side of the opening. See, there's, you could tell where it's already has a little bit of a slit in there, and you're going to simply pull towards you and away from you, like that. You don't ever want to pull out this way because you won't be able to get it back into that perfectly round shape. Okay, so now I'm just going to simply string this through the loop of the tail I created. And there we have that. So with this design, you could see that I suspended these components and then made little pearl drops from the bottom. And here I added a really beautiful piece of faceted amethyst. I made a bead link out of it, added another jump ring, and suspended a piece of labradorite, a teardrop, like a brulette, and a freshwater pearl. And then with this design, I think what I'm going to do is, I really like this little, what do we call this? It's kind of like a scalloped frame charm. So it has this little oval opening and it has really pretty etched patterns in it. So I'm going to do the same thing here, I think. Being that this has a loop, it would suspend even lower because I need another jump ring to attach it to this one, right? I don't want it to hang that low, and I don't want the interference of that loop and another jump ring. So what I'm going to do is remove the loop on this as well. I'm just going to clip that off, and that comes to a little point at the top. And just sand that. Okay, so sometimes you just need a hole instead of a loop, right? It's that easy. Just remove it and add your hole. So I'm going to punch a hole there along the tip. And I did sand and relief this beforehand a little bit to bring out some of that detail. And what I think I'm going to do as well is add some holes to the bottom to suspend some beads. So I know that's going to hang from another jump ring through there. I'm going to go ahead and turn this to the back side where it's kind of goes in a little bit. It's easier to line up. Add a hole towards the bottom. And then I'm going to add, well, let's try that first. Okay, so this is, I think this is about a 6mm etched jump ring. I'm going to go ahead and add that and close it up. And then we'll add it to the larger jump ring and go ahead and close that. That. And I'm going to grab one of our pearl head pins. This is a 2.5 inch pearl head pin. It's 24 gauge, so it works great with freshwater pearls or gemstones that have small holes. And I like to use the longer head pin than our 1.5 inch because I like to create messy loops, so it just gives me a little bit more to work with. So I'm forming this around my plier to create the shape of a loop, and I think I'm going to string this directly into the hole so I don't have another jump ring. Let's do it that way. So attach it through the hole, and I'm going to cross my wire over, leaving just a little bit of wire between the pearl and the loop, and then just start bringing that wire around, and I'm wrapping it loosely and crossing kind of over my last coil so it just has this fun, messy wrapped loop. Okay, and then with the extra wire, I'm going to simply put that away and then use a chain nose plier here to tuck that in. Straighten my loop out. And I have this really sweet little drop. I could add 2 more, but I think I'm just going to leave it like this for now. Something else fun would be to, that's probably a little bit too big, is you could do another bead and hang it from behind here from a little piece of chain so it sits inside that window. I might do that and finish the necklace off and upload a photo in a little bit. So now with any chain that's unsoldered, you could simply open the links and attach that right to the holes you created in the dragonfly wings. This is going to be a long style necklace, so I don't need a clasp here. Open this one, attach it and close that. And there you go. You have a finished necklace in no time. That was really quick and easy. So I might embellish it up a little bit more. And again, I said I'll share the finished piece, so I could suspend more beads from this jump ring, kind of like some fringe maybe, or even more. I'm thinking more of these little pearl drops coming from the bottom of this, even if, you know, some fine chain hung with those, it would create a really beautiful look. So I hope you give this technique a try, and definitely check out our idea gallery for more inspiration. Have a great day. Bye.